This is Ken Mercer, and welcome to your United States History and Civics exam. Today's question is, which president added the words "under God" to our Pledge of Allegiance? Which president added the words "under God"? Was it A, Dwight Eisenhower, B, Teddy Roosevelt? Was it Harry S. Truman, or was it D, Richard Nixon? And the answer is A, President Dwight D. Eisenhower. It was June 14th, 1954. You know, when I began studying all the civics and history, I was overwhelmed with Eisenhower, things that for some reason historians and politicians have deleted, erased. You know, Eisenhower was a very religious man. I never knew that. When he ran for election in 1952, he said that America needed a spiritual revival, and he promised that. He became good friends with a man named Reverend Billy Graham, who was famous for leading revivals throughout the nation. Eisenhower was the one, when he was president, he decided to begin every cabinet meeting when he brought in his vice president, attorney general, secretary of state. We're going to begin with a prayer. And Eisenhower began the National Prayer Breakfast, where every year the president has a prayer breakfast, a tradition that still continues today. I didn't know all that about Eisenhower, but he was, just for not a political comment, he was the first Republican president in 20 years. He had a Democrat House and Senate, and he said, I want to add two words to our pledge. Right now it says, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. He wanted to add two words, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Eisenhower, as you know, hopefully, he was the supreme commander of the Allies in World War II, the Allies being Great Britain, Canada, Australia, of course, the United States, and the remnants of the armies of France, Poland, and other armies overrun by the Nazis. And I was always amazed when America was the last country to enter the war, they chose Eisenhower, an American, to be the supreme commander. But he was an eyewitness to atheism, and coupled with these new philosophies called fascism, socialism, and communism, how that corrupted religion and corrupted governments. And he knew that atheism was trying to creep into America. He wanted to stop that. So he went to Congress and said, I want to add two words, under God. And they agreed with him. And he, the 34th president of the United States, Eisenhower, June 14th, 1954, he made it official. And listen to what he said. From this day forward, the millions of our school children will daily proclaim in every city and town, every village and rural schoolhouse, the dedication of our nation and our people to the Almighty. Wow. He said, what could be more inspiring than to contemplate the rededication of our youth on each school morning to our country's true meaning? That was President of the United States, Eisenhower. Again, I didn't know these things about Dwight Eisenhower until I began this study. He talked about America's heritage and future, that we want to strengthen those spiritual weapons which forever will be our country's most powerful resource in peace or in war. Wow. I hope you enjoyed today's session. Again, the question is, who was the president who added the words "under God" to our Pledge of Allegiance? And the answer is President Dwight Eisenhower, the 34th president. It was June 14th, 1954. And now we are one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I hope you enjoyed today's session, my friends. And as always, may God bless you, and may God bless our United States of America.